Once in a while, something happens in life that slows you down from doing what you're truly passionate about. So that's me under the mask. I'm about to get surgery during a pandemic. I just heard my surgeon cough, and that is a stock sound effect of my heart. The real one's beating so much faster than that. I was afraid, sad, and excited all at the same time. Let me explain. Hey guys, so that was about a week and a half ago. I'm back. I'm recovering from bed now. This is my post-surgery desk setup. You guys like it? Yeah, it's actually pretty comfortable. But anyways, I am so sorry I didn't get to update you guys about my surgery in such a long time. I'm just getting around to it. So when the surgery happened, right around that time, that's when I was watching a lot of videos about George Floyd. The protests were happening. My heart was so heavy. The original intention and plan was to actually vlog about it, before surgery and after surgery, but I just couldn't get to do it. After I came back from surgery, I spent a lot of time learning and listening and just trying to do what I can about this Black Lives Matter movement. Also, I was kind of at a low point, not having the strength and being heavily under pain medication can really darken your perspective and kind of bring back a lot of the negativity you had before. So I'm just gonna open up about my condition and the challenges I had, not to make you guys feel bad for me, but this is to just remind me and you guys about the importance of perspective. And not only that, I'm gonna have an important announcement about my channel at the end of this video. So the condition I have is categorized as inguinal hernia. Hernia, if you guys don't know what that is basically your intestine popping out of your stomach membrane, and it can pop out a lot. You get like twisted, you can have food stuck in there or blood stuck in there, and you can kind of lead to infections. But it was kind of a special case for me because the position of this hernia, it's not really easy to share, but it's let's just say that it wasn't in a good place. So my first doctor visit about this condition was about 2 years ago, and I appreciated this doctor because when he first looked at me, he said, I don't need to have surgery right now, which I appreciate because, when you go to like a mechanic and they say, hey, something's wrong with your engine, but you don't have to fix it yet, you appreciate the honesty. So I proceeded my life as usual. I was pretty busy back then. I was doing video announcement for church, and then on the side, I also had a filming business. So it got really busy towards the end. So even though my hernia gradually got worse, I never had a chance to visit my doctor again. I was working almost 7 days a week, and eventually I was also working for eventful as a second shooter. Life was busy. Towards the end, it got almost bad as I couldn't work out properly or run anymore. When I was traveling in a plane, I would actually have to hold down the hernia as we're landing the plane because I was afraid it was gonna burst out in the middle of the flight. So this was a challenge for me whenever I try to create content because it was a hindrance. It was painful hindrance at the time. Whenever I start recording YouTube videos, I couldn't really sit still and stand up for a long time, so I would actually record for half an hour, lie down and kind of subside the pain and just get up again and do it. I scrapped a lot of YouTube videos trying to make content like this. So mentally I had good days and bad days like everybody else, but the important thing was I kept going until the world pandemic happened. So when things start closing down, I have 2 kids. So I have a 3-year-old and a 6-year-old, so their school and their daycare basically closed. So all of a sudden I went from full-time filmmaker to during the day I was a school teacher, and during the night I would do filming and YouTube and whatever I had to get done. But the problem I think was I wasn't sleeping. So the most sleep I got would be 3 hours, maybe 4 hours for 50 days while we're in quarantine. So the gravity really has a pull on you on this hernia. So eventually my hernia had a hernia and it got bad. So I called up the same doctor I saw 2 years ago, and he wasn't taking in patients at the time because it was under quarantine. But he made an exception and saw me, and he looked at the hernia and said, yeah, you definitely need to have a surgery. But at the same time, he couldn't categorize that as an emergency because if it was emergency, I would actually have to go to ER. So any elective surgery was all paused during the quarantine. So he told me to call him back as soon as the stay-home order was lifted, which happened a month later, and I called him right back. And luckily, I was able to get on the priority list because he had lines of people lined up for surgery, obviously. But yeah, I was able to get a date secured. So the surgery was kind of surreal because we're still under semi-quarantine because I was the only one at the surgery center. I know I had the surgery in the morning, but there was nobody there. It was so quiet. There were a couple nurses and doctors around, but yeah, it was completely empty, and I wasn't allowed to have any family members around, so my wife couldn't be there even in the waiting room. So yeah, it was kind of adding to my anxiety. And what was worse was like the doctor was coughing. I know he coughed before on the phone, but man, I wasn't gonna just stop the procedure or the surgery right then because I knew I just had to get it done. The procedure went pretty well. So they cut me about this much, slit, and they had to tuck all the intestines back in and then put a mesh on it and then just sew me back up. That was the whole procedure. I'm still amazed how they did that. So I'm feeling pretty decent right now comparatively, because the first week was pretty bad. The first week, I couldn't even get out of my bed on my own. So to go to the bathroom, I didn't want to bother my wife every single time. So it would take me like 15-20 minutes to just get out of bed. I would have to just move like a worm, inch by inch towards the edge of the bed and just rolled off to get up to go to the bathroom, which will again take another 10 minutes trying to go to the bathroom. Yeah, so it was pretty bad the first week, but I wasn't really concerned about my physical ability more so than my mental ability to like create content. So I had huge plans, of course. Like I was like, oh man, this is cool. I'm gonna have so much time. I'm gonna just like plan out my videos and do a bunch of things and editing. Yeah, I had plans, but the pain and the medication really got the best of me. That was really difficult. So I had like this total mental creativity block where I just couldn't think of anything. I basically had a flashback of the feeling that I was getting before, that I wasn't able to create things fast enough without pain or things getting in the way like that. So the first turning point for me was when two YouTubers approached me at the same time. It was really weird. They asked me to collaborate on their video, and at this point they had no idea I just got surgery done, but I said yes to them like right away without any hesitation. I was really passionate about like helping them. So the first video was about Black Lives Matter movement. She asked to reflect on racism and privilege, and it was perfect timing because remember, I was really doing a lot of research and self-reflection on that. And the second video was about working with brands as a small creator, and it was for another YouTuber that I have huge respect for, so of course I say yes right away. I did eventually tell them about the surgery, and they gave me pretty good leeway and the deadline for that, so I really did appreciate that. So I don't know when those videos can be done. I'll try to link it in the description below when those are done. But yeah, at that point I had such a clear vision on these two videos. All my creativity block was just gone. I mean, I had such a clear focus and vision, and I was learning that whenever I help somebody, that's when I have the most focus. I mean, physically, I went backwards a little bit. Yeah, I mean, like moved around lights and, the backdrop and the camera. It wasn't very heavy, but I think I took so much pain medication, I wasn't feeling that until like the next day. The next day, I took pretty heavy toll on this, but I didn't care. Like I was so fired up about creating content again, and it was such a good reminder. It was a reminder that I have to focus on my vision. When you do that, like physical hindrance is nothing that's gonna stop that. And while you're doing that, you gotta push forward and accept the fact that things gonna be slow sometimes and things gonna get in the way. There's power behind carrying this heavy weight of limitation and hindrance. So when you have this weight, you can really ground yourself in the foundation that when you do make that video happen, when you do make that thing and overcome these challenges, yeah, that's when you can celebrate bigger, and that's gonna push you even further. I think it's important to stay in the fight rather than getting knocked out by trying to land that one punch. I think that's the whole theme of 2020. Patience and long game, which leads me to the announcement about this channel. So guys, I'm gonna take some time off to fully heal my body. I'm not gonna try to push it. I'm not gonna try to make things happen forcefully. It's a slow healing process, but I'm gonna accept it, but have clear vision and focus of what I'm gonna do in the future. I'm gonna remind myself why I do what I do, and that's to help you guys keep that passion, help you guys get to that next level, and that is gonna be so important to me. I got some really good content coming for you guys, including some meaningful giveaways. I don't have an exact date of my return, but I know it's gonna be in like July, so I hope you guys can wait for me on the other side. So yeah, some things will slow you down from doing what you're passionate about, but nothing will slow you down from being passionate about what you're doing. I'll see you guys soon.